going to be watching Burger King versus McDonald's patty rivalry. I'm going to be honest with you, I'd rather go to Wendy's. Let's check it out.
All right, I'm just going to be honest with you. All of the research...
He's going to be honest too. Anybody in chat want to be honest?
...for this video started because of a meme, and honestly, it could not have went any better. Today, we're talking about Burger King. Okay, look, I have been sent this meme like 10,000 times in the...
Oh, doesn't like every military base have Burger King on it for some reason? Like, why do we give the troops the worst fast food option?
last month. I'm not sure why. It must have went viral somewhere. Basically, the United States military has a Burger King that they can deploy anywhere on the planet in like 24 hours. So this piqued my interest for obvious reasons. I mean, nothing says you're outclassed like watching a foreign military drive a Burger King out the back of a cargo plane. Bearing that in mind, I thought to myself, surely
America, can I get a caw-caw? Honestly, Burger King is going through its like glow up arc. It's not like super bad. I just think it's funny to hate on it. But I understand that Burger Kinger defenders feel the same way I do about Arby's. I love Arby's, and people literally shit on Arby's all the time, and they never give it a chance. Arby's is good. Good fries, okay? The shakes are pretty good. They also have a good roast beef sandwich with cheese, okay?
this is an incredible business that I should look into because they probably have a really impressive business model, and I was partially correct because it was definitely worth looking into. There is not an impressive business model behind this company, okay? Not only is there not an impressive business model, there's not even really a business model, okay? As far as I can tell, Burger King was literally founded to troll McDonald's, and that has pretty much been their only mandate ever since. But
oh, there was like another company like that, but it was for Coke and Pepsi. I think it was KFC. You can totally correct me. You're totally testing my America knowledge right now. But I think they made KFC or Taco Bell or something to sell Pepsi products, and then that way they could stick it to the big man with Coke.
First, a word from our sponsor.
Taco Bell, yeah.
Yeah, delete me.
You were hired for one ad only. You're done.
There can only be one.
What? Why does this Jedi have bigger boobies than me? Do I have to join the Star Wars universe to get an upgrade?
Do something.
You're on your own. His boobs are bigger, and he just made a Star Wars Highlander reference.
Oh!
Anyways, delete me. Biggest sponsor of the channel. You guys know the deal by now. You give them money, they make sure the data brokers on the internet are not selling your personal information.
And I say this every time, if you ever went to the mall and you signed up for the free motorcycle, it wasn't free, they actually sold your information. And if you did it for your entire family because you wanted more chances to win the motorcycle, you're all screwed.
These data brokers are legally required to stop selling your information if you ask them to the right way. Unfortunately, each data broker has a different right way. And Delete Me knows all of them. Not only do they go and they get all that information taken down, they continue to monitor all these data brokers in case they get your information again, and then they tell them to quit selling it again. Buh, you can actually do all that yourself, buh. I mean, yeah, you could. You could also wire your own house and grow your own food, but at some point it becomes more cost and time effective to just let the professionals do their job, and plus,
see, I think about that too. Like, if I were to grow my own food, like, I would have to have a craving for a pizza like 9 months in advance. Because I'd have to grow the tomatoes, get the cow, milk the cow, make the cheese, make the dough.
They'll probably do a better job to begin with. I mean, here's the results they got for me. They reviewed over 18,000 listings from over 180 different data brokers and gotten over 3,000 listings removed almost every single month.
Wow.
And to be honest, I have absolutely no idea how long that would have taken me to do it if I decided to do it myself, but I'm 100% sure I would rather just pay Delete Me like $6 a month to do it for me. So
if anybody in this chat has information about me, I'll beat you up! So watch yourself!
Like me and you wanted to give Delete Me a try, I'm gonna have a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. All right, our story begins in 1954 when the founders of Burger King, Keith Kramer and Matthew Burns, went out to San Bernardino, California, and ate at the very first McDonald's. And
oh my god. Apex, thank you for the raid! And then also, Karen, thank you so much for the bits. Barry, I heard that you sell all of our information by putting us in that chat tester you just did. How could you possibly do this to us, Sag? Well, mommy's gotta buy a new computer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have to understand I was lagging so much last stream. It's for the betterment of the stream. I'm sorry. Okay. And also, When I was a kid, I had to do a paper where we had to write about the most important person in America in history, and I wrote about the guy who made McDonald's. I don't know if that was a good take or not, but he kind of had some interesting lore.
They're like, holy shit, what a brilliant business model. They're selling cheap hamburgers through a drive-thru, just maximizing profits. It'd be a really good idea if we stole this exact business model and then took it over to the East Coast and started it in Jacksonville, Florida. They got a piece of equipment known as the
Florida stealing.
Insta broiler that they thought was going to be a faster and more efficient way to cook hamburgers, and opened up their very first Insta Burger King. And
So were the women in Miami, Florida always hot? Or is that like a new patch? Because I don't know if the hot women of Miami, Florida would want to eat at Burger King. I don't know. Seems like the wrong crowd.
just like McDonald's, it was very successful right out of the gate. They rapidly started opening up new franchises all over the country. Now, the way they did franchises in the beginning was, well, it was kind of fucking stupid, to be honest with you. The way they did it was they would basically sell the rights to a district or a region of the United States to a franchisee, and that franchisee could then put up as many Burger Kings in that area as they wanted, and there was really no rules whatsoever. And what this meant was,
They're playing Burger King of the Hill?
it was a restaurant and it said Burger King on the outside, but if you went to a different district where a franchisee ran their business completely differently, you were going to a different Burger King, but it was basically a completely different restaurant. The only similarity was that they both sold hamburgers.
See, that's bad though, because I feel like the McDonald's business model is that no matter what, you get McDonald's. Like, you could go to McDonald's halfway across the world and you still get a quarter pounder. It's like very consistent.
Which kind of makes sense from this like eye in the sky point of view, but from a consumer standpoint, it was very confusing. And this goes on for over a decade. They continue to open up franchises all over the United States. The entire company gets bought and sold out on like 3 separate occasions during that initial 10 years. And then in 1967, all 207
Okay, get it out of your system.
74 Burger King franchises get bought out by Pillsbury for $18 million.
Sir.
Whoa! Really? Dude, my stepmom loved the Pillsbury Doughboy. She had collected every single one of his little like trinkets, and we had like a giant like display case full of Pillsbury Doughboy when I was a kid.
I'll get it together. I promise.
She loved him.
And the man from Pillsbury that gets put in charge of Burger King is an executive by the name of Norman Brinker. 2 things he does right out of the gate. He standardizes Burger King across
Her Oshi. Well, we called her Doshi.
the board. We're not going to have any more of this, like, you know, you have this experience in this district and this experience in that district. No, we're going to standardize it. All Burger Kings are going to be relatively the same. That way, when somebody's going from a different location to a different location, they can expect to find the same menu items and have relatively the same experience. And the second thing he does, he kicks off the long-standing Burger King tradition, and quite honestly, as far as I can tell, the only business model they've ever had of shit-talking McDonald's, because he launches a major ad campaign basically saying that Burger King is better than McDonald's because Burger King has bigger burgers. So naturally, McDonald's
They started with our meat's bigger than yours. Nah, 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 boo boo. Nah, 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 boo. Actually hating online. They should get a Call of Duty lobby.
being a good sport about it, launched a retaliatory ad campaign. No, I'm just kidding. They actually kicked off their long-standing tradition of having frivolous lawsuits against rivals. They tried to sue Burger King and lost, which is honestly a pretty incredible lack of a
Now they're going the Buc-ee's strat, which makes me sad because I was a Buc-ee's advocate, but apparently right now Buc-ee's is going around and they're lawsuiting anybody who has a little furry mascot in the area.
sense of humor on McDonald's part, considering that their mascot is a clown. So Burger King continues to smack talk McDonald's. McDonald's continues to cry about it. The next big thing that Burger King does is they start landing licensing agreements with big companies like Lucasfilms and Disney. And for
good! Dude! Do you guys feel like kids' toys back when we were kids? I'm talking like everybody here is old, but I just assume you are. Were so much better. Like, there were little mini video games that came out at Burger King. You could have like Sonic toys that ran around and stuff. And now it's just like nothing. Like, I don't even know. The only cool stuff that ever happens is like they'll do, I don't know, a Pokemon collab at McDonald's, but then all the scalpers get there first, or like the people who work there steal them. So like the cool stuff's gone and everybody just gets the crap.
For my inner child, this is my favorite part because this is an objective fact that Burger King had the best Happy Meal toys my entire childhood, okay? They start having Happy Meal toys of all the upcoming Disney movies. They start having memorabilia for the Star Wars movies.
Cool.
They have literally the best Happy Meal toy of all time.
So cool. Wait, was this the one we watched the video about where kids were like swallowing them and they were dying? I think I remember this having a terrifying past. There was one Pokemon toy that I remember kids were choking on.
Golden Pokemon card, okay? I remember when I was like,
Oh yeah, it got stuck on their faces. That's what it was. And then it would like, they would like suffocate because they couldn't breathe because the Pokeball got stuck to them.
7, 8 years old, opening up that Pokeball case and thinking that I was immediately a millionaire like fucking Scrooge McDuck. It was the best toy ever as a child. This is brilliant marketing on Burger King's part because let me tell you, as a child, I viewed going to Burger King as an investment opportunity, okay? I was trying to convince my parents to go to Burger King breakfast, lunch, and dinner so I could get more gold and become rich.
Ooh, I used to convince my parents to take us to McDonald's. Well, it was my grandma, and the way that I did it is I knew they listened to my little sister more, so I would try to like convince her by getting in her head and being like, you want to go to McDonald's so bad. You want to go and get a burger so bad. And then she would go and ask, and then we would go.
The 1980s Burger King is absolutely losing to McDonald's on the business front, so they have the horrible idea of like, hey, you know what would help if we added a bunch of random shit to the menu?
Whoa, wait, they used to be creative. Chicken sandwich long style. Oh my God, I remember this one time I went to Burger King because I was trying all of the Burger King food on my stream. And I told him I wanted the chicken sandwich. And he says, the chimkin? You mean the chimkin? I was like, the chicken sandwich? No, the chimkin sandwich. I said, okay, just give me the chimkin sandwich. Then I get to the front and I hand him my card to like swipe it. And he swiped it upside down. Then he went, oh my bad. Then he swiped it backwards, and then he started like slamming it on there, and he was like, I don't know. And he called somebody over to help him, and he was just zooted out of his spot. He was really zooted.
Menu to give people more options. Okay, this is a horrible idea. I've said this once, I'll say it again because I wholeheartedly believe it. Adding more options is almost never a good thing on the business front.
Yeah, but you could be Cheesecake Factory. I don't know how Cheesecake Factory did it. I think it's because they are a scratch kitchen, so they have 900 items, but they make everything all at the restaurant. But they do it pretty good. I feel like most of Cheesecake Factory is pretty great.
Especially in the restaurant industry.
It's a hamburger made out of meat on a bun with nothing. Add ketchup if you want. I couldn't care less.
I mean, look at Chick-fil-A. I did a whole video on that previously. It is pound for pound easily the most effective and profitable fast food chain in the world right now.
Dude, it's because they're also nice and they say my pleasure. Everybody else gives me attitude. I went to Popeyes one time and they called me a bitch.
They've got 1/7 as many locations as McDonald's. They're only open 6 days out of the week as opposed to 7. And each Chick-fil-A outperforms a McDonald's by a factor of like 20. And look at what they're doing.
And doesn't Chick-fil-A do it to where you have to like be a part of like something to be able to own the store? But like anybody can own a McDonald's? I think maybe you have to know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy or something.
They're selling chicken sandwiches. That's it. They've got one fucking menu item and they're wrecking house. Okay, KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Overcome.
Did you get that? Everybody in chat? Ew, I got a cold sore now, ew.
Complicating shit almost never works. I mean, look at German engineering. Oh my God, everything they work on is an engineering marvel. It's so complex. Nobody else could possibly keep up. Keep up at what? Losing fucking world wars? Ask any mechanic on the planet if they want to work on a BMW. They're gonna say fuck no, because it's an overcomplicated piece of shit. But that's what Burger King does, desperately trying to keep up with McDonald's. Over the course of the next decade, it drives the franchise straight into the ground, and by 1989, they have to end up selling to some big European conglomerate, Grand Metro, for $5.7 billion. Oh,
damn!
wait, I almost forgot.
If I gave you 5.7 billion right now, what would you do? I would make a giant Walt Disney World, but it would be called Berrytopia, and you guys would all come, and there would be a giant bounce house and go-karts and a roller coaster, and we would have free food for everybody. I'd get my hair back, and anybody who is bald but wants their hair back will give you free hair.
Literally the worst and scariest part of this entire video. In addition to adding a bunch of different items to the menu, one of the items that they added was a bigger version of the Whopper, because McDonald's around this point in time came out with the Quarter Pounder, so Burger King...
Dude, I love the Quarter Pounder. I don't know what it is. I think it's because they have to make it, but if you get like a fresh Quarter Pounder, it's so much better than everything else at McDonald's. It's good.
wanted to one-up them, so they came up with the third pounder, okay?
Oh.
Not a horrible idea. Bigger is better. Great marketing ploy,
America!
Okay? What they underestimated was how fucking stupid people are, okay? The 1/3 pounder was a complete flop, and nobody could figure out why for the life of them. It was basically the same.
Okay, let's explain it like this. Okay, 1/4, 1/3. It looks like you get more with this one. And this one looks more smaller. No, it doesn't. It's because 4 is a bigger number than 3. So because you see 4, you think 4 is big and 3 is small. And we all know every inch counts.
Pounder. Literally more hamburger for the same amount of money. So they did a bunch of market research, and what the market research found out was the average person at a glance thought that the 1/4 pounder was the better deal because 4 is a bigger number than 3.
And what I just say, you all laughed at me. But I told you, okay? You can't be smart. This is why yellow paint exists, okay? Nobody wants to think all the time.
I don't believe you.
Okay, do you understand how fucking stupid that is? That's like calling up a pizza place and being like, hey, can you do me a solid? I want to order a large pepperoni pizza, but instead, can you cut it into 12 pieces instead of 10? Because I'm really hungry right now. I swear, every time I think about this, I have an existential crisis, okay? Like, look. All right, look, I'm not saying I don't like democracy necessarily, but every time I hear shit like this and I know that these people's vote count for as much as my vote does,
Yeah.
fucking, we're just gonna move on. And this is where we get to.
Guys, this is what we're gonna do. You can trust me after my great speech a minute ago. How about I vote for everything because I'm the smartest in the entire world? How about we do that?
The Burger King that we really know today, because Grand Metro has a two-pronged approach on how to turn this company around. Prong 1, they're going to expand globally, have Burger Kings all over the world. That part works out really well. The second prong, they're going to double down on historically what has worked for Burger King, primarily continuing to get licensing deals for awesome kids meal toys and shit-talking McDonald's. So we're just going to go.
Dude, see, this is also where I think licensing matters. I think Universal is a better park than Disney World, but Disney World has the better IP for more people, so more people go to Disney World, even though I think it's more run down, more dirty, more evil people, more mean people, more people running you over with strollers. But Universal is better, but they don't have, like, Mickey Mouse.
Go ahead and go right down the list of their greatest McDonald's trolls of all time. There's their unofficial slogan, why eat with a clown when you could dine with a king? There's that time that they had a Burger King dress up as a McDonald's for Halloween.
That's what that is? We gotta be a little careful with that.
Then there's probably one of the best ads I think I've seen in my entire life. There's multiple videos and accounts on the internet of people that have had a McDonald's hamburger for like 20, 25 years. And
I think I remember a long time ago, my dad, he said, I lost my credit card. If any of you guys can find my credit card, I'll give you 20 bucks. So me and my sister were like digging through his car like crazy, and we found like McDonald's French fries, and they looked exactly the same. And who knows how long they were there for.
thing hasn't aged. It doesn't mold. It doesn't deteriorate. It looks very similar to the day that it was bought. So Burger King, obviously taking a shot at McDonald's with this, made an ad where they showed a Whopper getting moldy and decaying over the course of 34 days.
Me when I turned 28.
Literally just saying the quiet part out loud. Like, is our food good? No, not really. But at least bacteria is willing to eat it, unlike McDonald's. Okay?
No! The problem with Burger King is that they always... Too much mayonnaise on every single sandwich. It's 90% mayo. Who wants a mayonnaise sandwich?
That's an incredible ad. Literally scientifically proving in like 30 seconds flat that they are healthier than the competition is brilliant. But just for the record, I am absolutely not saying that Burger King is healthy for you, okay? The Bacon King has like 2,100 calories just in the sandwich, okay?
Okay, can somebody also explain this to me? Today is the react involving a lot of paint, okay? Okay, can you see this? Is it a beautiful illustration or what? I don't know why that's orange. Okay. This looks like the Krabby Patty secret formula. Bread? Not that bad for you. People eat bread all the time. I remember when I lived in Japan, people ate bread for breakfast. That was literally just a piece of toast, okay? Beef? Not too bad for you. It's just like, you know, some protein. You know, people use it for gains and shit. Cheese, I could see this being pretty bad, but like cheese is like all right. Like if you just don't eat a lot of it and it's just a slice. Lettuce, good for you before cytolophobia, all right? Tomato, vegetable, and another piece of bread. How come all of this together is unhealthy and 29,000 calories? But separately, it's not that bad. Because of the bread? Artificial stuff. Oh, oil. Wait, there's a lot of oil in this? It's just the grease. What are they doing? They're just like taking the patty and then just like flipping it around in butter and then like putting it on the grill and they're like, delicious America. It's just straight fat. Interesting.
I ate one like 3 weeks ago. It felt like my cardiovascular system got shifted into 4 low for like 3 hours. But it did taste better than a Big Mac, so there was that. Which brings me to my next point. Their burgers are substantially bigger than McDonald's, and they like to prove that in the funniest ways possible, one of which is with one of the most iconic ads of all time, the Tiny Hands ad.
Okay, I have tiny hands. That's why I play on a PlayStation controller and not an Xbox controller. What's wrong with that, all right?
BK double cheeseburger with us.
Nah, I'm gonna hit McDonald's at halftime.
Are you kidding?
I have these tiny hands, and that BK double cheeseburger is so
Peter Griffin be like.
big, it's gonna make them look even tinier.
Then there was that time when the new It movie premiered in Germany. They effectively turned the entire It film into one major advertisement for Burger King.
Never trust a clown.
And while those ads are funny and memorable, at the end of the day, it's just clever marketing. It's not actually trolling the enemy, which they also excel at.
Yeah, so are we still gonna watch The Odyssey or am I screwed? Like, I just gotta go home now?
So you know how Burger Kings are always like right next to or across the street from a McDonald's? Well, somebody at Burger King got the brilliant idea. They're like, hey, we've got this mobile app. What if we came up with a way to make it so people were incentivized to go to McDonald's to order food from Burger King? They created what they called the Whopper Detour. And basically what they did is they used the GPS tracking inside of the Burger King app. And if you were inside of a McDonald's location while you were ordering on your phone from Burger King, they would only charge you $1 for a Whopper.
Okay, that's pretty funny. What happened to ambitious ad campaigns? I don't feel like anybody has creativity anymore.
Effectively driving more business over to Burger King selling cheaper hamburgers, but also giving the illusion that people were walking into McDonald's, standing there for a few minutes, and then leaving empty-handed and dissatisfied before walking next door to Burger King.
Do you remember back in the day, this was also fun to do? Dude, this is for the other old people in chat again. This is like a very old react today too. I remember the greatest time ever was when you had to convince your parents to drive you to GameStop so that way you could get the Pokemon event on your DS and you sat in the parking lot and you had to download it. Oh my God, that was awesome.
My personal favorite troll actually happened this year in 2024. What happened was, over in Ireland, there's a small chain of like 100 restaurants called Supermax. And McDonald's has effectively been trying to sue this company because apparently Supermax is infringing upon their trademark of the Big Mac, and they've been taking them to court for a couple of years, and they recently just lost in court, effectively losing their trademark for the Big Mac term in all of the European Union. So Burger King immediately quit selling Whoppers and is now selling not Big Macs at every...
That is pretty funny. Anything but a Big Mac. The burger Big Mac wish it was. A Big Mac, but actually big.
BK in Europe. And McDonald's can't do a single thing about it because they lost the trademark to the term Big Mac, and it's absolutely beautiful. And while the savagery was pretty uniquely pointed at McDonald's in particular for a long time, it's kind of leaked out and now anybody can get it. Ever since Burger King got Twitter, they're just clapping back at everybody online. In 2018, Kanye tweeted that McDonald's was his favorite restaurant, to which BK reposted and just said, that explains a lot, which...
I him. I thought he liked Cheesecake Factory.
Is a tweet that
You know he loves to go there.
is just aged like fine wine. In 2021, on International Women's Day, Burger King tweeted, "Women belong in the kitchen."
What the hell? How did they get away with this?
Now, to their credit, the first comment made immediately after that tweet and pinned by Burger
they
King was
rage
explaining
bait.
how women only account for 20% of chefs and they wanted to get more women involved in the
Oh, they were being nice. Okay, I'm going to Burger King right now. Anybody want anything?
culinary industry. However,
Thoughts on that, Barry? I'm gonna be honest, you don't want me in the kitchen. You remember the last time I was in the kitchen and you guys were yelling at me because I was using plastic silverware to cut up cilantro? Yeah, how about maybe some women belong in the kitchen?
people aren't clicking into the comments section and reading the comments once they read that. They're just clicking and immediately getting pissed off and typing something furiously. So once again, Burger King gave the average person too much credit on their intelligence, and nobody actually read the secondary part where they like had a heartfelt message of trying to, you know, get women into the workforce. No.
I can't read, I'm American.
No, people were just immediately pissed. And then who could forget December 9th, 2024, right after the man that assassinated the healthcare CEO was captured after being identified by a McDonald's worker, Burger King allegedly tweeted, "We don't snitch."
This motherfucker don't miss.
Now, in Burger King's defense, that's not a real tweet, and they didn't actually tweet that. That was fabricated and then spread all over the
lies
internet
and
after the
slander.
fact. However, the fact that a lot of people had to go online and verify that that was a fake tweet speaks volumes. Which brings us to the Burger King scandals, because let's face it, you can't troll this hard and be this savage on the internet, not go a little bit too far every once in a while. And
So what happened? Like, I feel like the trolling burger place eventually became Wendy's, and that was like their bit, was that Wendy's was savage. Did they lose the Burger King guy and he just went to Wendy's and started tweeting over there?
They've done it. In 2009, they had the Whopper Sacrifice campaign, and you could literally download an app on your phone that would integrate with Facebook, and you could pick 10 people to delete off your friends list. And if you did it, it would send a message to that friend that you unfriended, and it would be like, you just got sacrificed for a Whopper, and then
I saw this post yesterday too that was talking about, like, it was on Reddit. It was like, what's something sexual that you don't know is sexual until you were older? And they said that poking people on Facebook was actually sexual the whole time. Do you know how much I poked my sister? I didn't think it was like that.
after you did that 10 times, you would get a coupon for a free Whopper. Apparently, a bunch of people got really mad about this. Personally, I think that's absolutely hilarious. If you're gonna get mad at me because I unfriended you on Facebook to get a free Whopper and you're not understanding, honestly, I don't know why we're friends to begin with in the first place. Okay, back when I did have Facebook, I would unfriend the best man in my wedding every year on his birthday and then re-add him the next day for no other reason than it was funny, okay?
I had to get rid of Facebook because I hated seeing people's opinions that I knew in real life. Like, if I get rage baited on Twitter, I'm like, okay, this guy is actually just a rage baiter, and I don't know if he's, like, joking or if he's being serious. But if I saw it from somebody that I had to talk to all the time, it would make me so mad. I couldn't do it anymore. But the bad thing about deleting Facebook is that you start forgetting people's birthdays because it's kind of a cheat sheet.
If you incentivized me with free Whoppers, I'd do it every day. And guess what? He would laugh every single day because that shit's funny. But this pales in comparison to their biggest scandal ever. In 2018, it was the Russian Soccer World Cup, and a Burger King franchise in Russia advertised and offered up $47,000 in cash and a lifetime supply of free Whoppers to any woman that would get impregnated by a World Cup soccer player.
What? I thought it was gonna be any pregnant woman who names their baby Burger King. What the hell?
This was to, and I quote, get the best football genes and lay down the success of the Russian national football team. Now, on one hand, is that funny? My lawyer told me that I have to say no. On the other hand,
how bad do I need $47,000?
could you imagine some Russian woman getting knocked up by a football player and immediately calling JG Wentworth?
It's my money and I need it now.
And
Call JG Wentworth 877 Cash now.
The craziest part about all of this is that people weren't actually mad that Burger King was essentially incentivizing women to become gold diggers for Whoppers. No, the public outcry was essentially saying that this promotion excluded women that weren't capable of bearing children. No, I'm just fucking with you. But the fact that I had you going for that long speaks volumes of the world that we live in today. So yeah,
it's just because I go on Twitter a lot. I see everybody mad at everything. I told you guys one time I ordered a crepe, and then when I went to go eat the crepe, I posted a picture of it on Twitter because I thought it was funny and topical, and there was sauce all over the plate because it was decorated, and somebody commented, that chef put sauce all over the plate when there's starving people in the world. Why did you support that? He just decorated the plate. It was not that big of a deal.
Conclusion, that is Burger King in a nutshell. They were basically founded to troll McDonald's, and now they just fuck with everybody for fun and sell hamburgers on the side. Is it a good business model? One that I would recommend that you pursue? Probably not, but
I will never own a restaurant. I will never do a job. I will never, ever, ever be nice to anybody. I will never go back to school. I will never succeed in anything. I will always be a loser.
Also, I'm here for it. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some
The VTuber oath. Amen.
merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
Oh, wait, there's normally after credits. Wait a second.
You guys got to quit sending me memes. I don't think I'm mature enough to handle the internet.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate it. If you're new here, please come by the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/BerryCrepe, or use use code Berry for 10% off your game for some order with Super Help me out. Bye!